I'm Kathy, and I am your hostess and curator of virtual retreat experiences here at the Hummingbird Nest. So, today I'm going to show you what I've been making this week and give you a little taste of our kitchen table gathering last night. The theme for the Hummingbird Nest this month is make something it helps. And so I decided to just hold the month loosely with making and sharing what I'm making when I'm inspired to do so. So I thought I would just pop on and give you a little preview of what I've been making in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to just start by saying I've been feeling a little off this past week, especially. There's been a lot of loss around me, whether it's through family or friends, a loss of both human life and animal life, a loss of feeling healthy, a loss of my usual routine. And some have said perhaps that it maybe is even caused by the solar eclipse this past week, which has brought up some confusion, some fear, and some worry for me. So, what I did to be able to deal with that was I gave myself permission to rest. And I watched several Hallmark movies over the week. I had lots of little naps. I went back to an exercise class yesterday that I've been putting off, and that really helped get my energy moving. And I hosted my kitchen table gathering last night. And I love to create the gatherings, to make the gatherings for the women who come to the table. And it was a lot of fun last night, like they all are. So I've leaned a lot on making things with my hands, which I'll share those things with you in a moment. But I'm happy to say that I feel like the wall has lifted a bit and I'm feeling much better today. So I wanted to just start with something at the kitchen table gatherings. We start with an arrival practice. And last night was about a 10-minute meditation. I won't carry you through the whole meditation, but I will just read to you one part of that meditation. So I would ask that you just take a moment to look at your hands. So really look at them. These are the hands that have carried you through your life. Hands that have cooked, written, held, mended, planted, created, comforted. Maybe these hands have stitched something, painted something, built something, baked something, held someone's hand, or wiped away a tear. Take a moment to notice your hands and silently thank them for all they have done, for all they have made, for all the ways they have helped you. And now slowly place both your hands on the table in front of you. Feel the surface beneath your palms. This is your table, your summer table, your place to gather, your place to make, your place to tell stories. Now take one slow breath. You are here, we are here, and the table is ready. So I wanted to just show you a few of the things I've been making. Hi, Josette. Hi, Lyndon. Charles. Nice to have you here with us. So back to a few of the things that I have been making. I have, first and foremost, been working on the barn wall behind me. So as you know, the Hummingbird is, it's a virtual retreat center, but it's housed in a barn. So I, with my husband's help, have created a backdrop that replicates a barn wall. And on the barn wall, I have a branch, and you may notice a tiny little hummingbird nest right up there. And I have decided what I'll be able to do with this wall is, as the gatherings change that I'm presenting in the hummingbird nest, I'll change the decor on the wall. So this is still the setup from last night for the kitchen table gathering. So of course I've got an apron hanging up, and I've got some dried flowers. So I thought that was appropriate for last night's kitchen table gathering. So what I've been working on is also a embroidery piece of wildflowers that will become the pocket for the apron that you see hanging there. My sister made that apron for me, so I will put a nice pocket on it when I'm done. So that's one of the things I've been working on. I've also been working on some pressed flower coasters, and I'm hosting in my home a small crafternoon next week with there are 5 of us that get together occasionally to craft. And so we're going to be making coasters I have a lot of pressed flowers, and so we'll be using them and making some coasters. So there's one. I've done just a few samples to show the ladies. And this is actually a glass candle holder from IKEA. So it's something I'm repurposing into a coaster. I did another one that it has words on it with the pansy in the backdrop. It says, "An old garden is like an old friend. As with old friends, memories come, and certain spots give memories forever dear." And then just one more with a single pansy on it. So I'll have lots of samples for them to look at as we begin our craft at our crafternoon. I've also been working on a project for a September in-person gathering that I'm hosting in Victoria, Canada. And I'm not going to share it's going to be a slow stitch piece. I'm not going to really share anymore. I want to keep it a surprise, but I will say that it's going to be at the end of September. So we're moving into autumn. So it'll be cozy, and it'll just be cozy and really comforting to be able to take it home. The other thing I've made just recently, this past week, is a story bowl. So I am going to share more about how to make the story bowl. I'll be doing a creative invitation to post in the Hummingbird Nest soon. But just to kind of walk you through what the story bowl is all about. So you'll see some little pieces of paper folded in it. This is how we bring connection to the kitchen table. So each person draws a question from the story bowl and answers it. And we get into some really fascinating stories, and it's a really fun way to connect. I wanted to also give a shout out to Andrea Shear. This is her idea that I'm using. And I want it to be really clear that I borrowed this term story bowl from her and her idea, but we're just loving it. And I wanted to have a bowl that was dedicated just to the kitchen table. It's really cute. It's got birds on one side, and the inside is just a batik print. So it's hard. And like I said, I'll be sharing the creative invitation on how to make that soon. Just have to kind of look at my notes and get my bearings here. Bear with me, please. So the voices around the kitchen table last night, I guess that's what I'd like to share with you next. There were some real live examples of how making has helped women around the table that were there last night. And so at the kitchen table, stories are shared in different ways. Last night, women were invited to bring a project to make during the gathering. And we had our traditional Story Bowls activity. And these stories came from the Story Bowl questions. So I'm going to just read to you from what I've jotted down about what came from those questions. And one of the themes was making slows the mind down. One woman named this most clearly, things kind of slow down. So my mind has one thing to focus on. My mind can just float at a time when I just need to let my mind figure something out. She added that her heart rate slows too. Everything just kind of opens up, is what she said. Another woman echoed this with her dot pattern book. She shared she thought this would be fun to just kind of have something to hang out and do that I don't have to think about. Doing something in the moment that is mindless is a rest. The other theme was making carries grief and hard seasons. This was maybe the deepest thread of the night. I shared a story about walking out of a government job. I'd spent months cross-stitching after that experience. That stillness of stitching became to me like a meditation. I really think taking the time with myself to be still and to cross-stitch was what got me to my next step and through that process. It was just a real healing process for me. Another woman's 1,000 paper cranes folded for an ex-boyfriend who'd been given 6 months to live after a cancer diagnosis. With almost every fold, there was some sort of thought, a prayer, a hope, a wish, a desire. She was folding through the ending of a 7.5-year relationship at the same time. It was really the final ending. It's a very beautiful practice. Making connects us to people, sometimes better than words do. One woman told me about a vision board she made for a friend who was going through something rough. It didn't start with paper. It started with long talks about what her friend wanted, years of listening before a single image was cut out. They'd known each other many years, so the board wasn't made of paper and pictures at all. It was made of everything she had paid attention to during their friendship. She said it felt like such a powerful connection between them, especially when her friend received it. And then she said something I haven't stopped thinking about. We see them different, right? I really loved this idea of creating a vision board for another person. We know things about the people we love that they can't always see about themselves. Sometimes what we make isn't for us at all. It's just proof that we are paying attention. Another story shared by a woman at the table was about why she makes and sells cards. She shared, it really connects her with people. Each piece that she creates captures a bit of her own soul. She hopes that the person who receives it feels the connection of their soul and their soul's energy. Making also helps us discover who we are. Another story stood out. A work colleague once looked at her like she was sharing this story, looked at her like she had 3 heads when she said she wasn't creative, then listed off everything that proved otherwise. I just had never seen myself in that light before, she shared. That sort of unleashed me thinking of myself in a new creative way. This was relatable to me as well. So often other people see in us what we can't see in ourselves. That was also my experience. Making keeps people and memory alive. This line was shared by one woman working on a family scrapbook. A family tree grows strongest when every branch is remembered. She's discovering her father's parents, whom her own kids never knew, through this process. And making became the way she processed both the facts and her own memories of them. Another story of an encaustic artist told of memorial pieces for a friend's late mother, built from a rose from the funeral, birthstones and old photographs layered under the words brave woman, feisty friend, something made standing permanently in someone's home. And finally, making doesn't need a reason, and that's its own kind of gift. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining. An answer to this story bowl question, what would you make with no expectation or purpose, was simply photographs. No plan, no pressure, just to do it for fun. Another line about a lotus a woman was folding applies to all of it. I'm never in a hurry to make them. Not worth it being in a hurry, she shared. So I want to leave you with a few questions from the story bowl, not to answer here, but to sit with in your own journal whenever you get a quiet minute. Number 1, and I'll pause so that you have to and repeat it so you can write these questions down. When has making helped you through a difficult time? So again, when has making helped you through a difficult time? I guess I could actually put these in the chat. When has making helped you through a difficult time? It's the first one. The second one is, what do you notice happens inside you when your hands are busy? The third one, is there something handmade that you treasure because of who made it? And finally, is there something you used to make that you'd love to return to? So I'd like to just encourage you to pick one of those questions or answer all of them, and pull out your journal and just journal about them and see what you might find out about yourself in that process. That's all I wanted to share for today. If you make something this week, even if it's something small, I'd love for you to share it in the Hummingbird Nest or send me a personal message and I'll share it for you. And I just want to thank you for having your hands here today and for the attention that was given to my video on what I've been working on making this week, how it's helped me and also helped the women at the kitchen table last evening. So thank you, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.